All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well and who taught me this truth. And shalom to you sincere Akim out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. I'm going to jump straight into this video. Lord's willing is edifying. It shouldn't be too long. I just got a couple videos. I think I got like two or three scriptures that I want to hit. Lord's willing is edifying. All right. With that being said, let's jump straight into it. The first scripture I'm going to pull is going to be Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 12. It says, For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup. Let me read that over. Jeremiah 49 and 12, all right? In case I didn't call it. Jeremiah 49 and 12. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. That's talking about Yasharallah, Israel, all right? And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together, and come against her, and rise up to battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men. It says, Thy terribleness, and you can read Obadiah for further, read Obadiah, and it tells you the same thing, okay? It says, Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, like I said, read Obadiah, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. That's another key, a clue, who this is talking about. Like I said, it's talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh. And if you still are unsure, it tells you in verse 17. Also Edom, which is the so-called white man, Edom shall be a desolation. Desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Salah. It says, Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan, against the habitation of the strong. But I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that shall stand before me? But this is the main point that I want right here. It's in verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Okay, it says, surely he shall make the habitations desolate with them. All right, so that's a mouthful. All right, so like I said, I'll read that over. Jeremiah, it's the main point that I wanted, 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Edom, the so-called white man, right? And his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Those are the wise men, the Germans, okay? But they were split up after the Second World War. There was a over those German scientists out of Nazi Germany. There was a war. Russia and America were fighting over the scientists. Because they had a lot of technology came out of Germany, which was Teman. All right. It says sure, but nonetheless, they're all Edomites. Okay, don't get it twisted. Gog and Magog, the Russians, they're Edomites, and so is Amalek. They're Edomites. They're just different families within Edom. Okay, it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And that's referring to the chief house of Edom, which are the Amalek, the Amalekites, the so-called Jews, all right, over there in Israel, all right? The synagogue of Satan, okay? They're going to draw out Edom, the chief house of Edom, which is, well, not the chief house, but the chief house is the Amalek, but Babylon the Great, that's America. That's the superpower, okay? If you can receive it. Israel, that's what it's telling you here. That Israel is gonna do something that's gonna cause the America to come into this war, okay? And we already can see that happening because anything that matter of fact, the Americans are who put them in that land with the Balfour Declaration, I believe is what it's called. All right. And we already see that anything that Israel does, America's right there to back them up. They're with allies, okay? The U.S. is one of Israel's major allies, okay? So that's what it says. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make the habitation desolate with them. How? With those nuclear missiles. Those intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay? They're going to shoot them over here. All right, the beast is going to hate the whore, which is America, Edom, which is Babylon the Great, America. Okay, and we're getting closer and closer and closer to this day. As I always say, the doors of mercy are drastically closing. All right, but anyway, with that being said, let's jump into the first video, and then I'll jump back into the scriptures. All right, but like I said, the main point, like I said, is the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right, that's what I want. And that's what you see happening, okay? So this is off of Al Jazeera, all right? This is from May 5th, 2019. So that's 2 days ago, because today's the 7th, all right? Off of Al Jazeera English. It says, U.S. deploys warships, bombers to Middle East to pressure Iran, all right? And it's all over. It all resorts back to Israel, man, okay? Because Iran is way on the other side of the hemisphere. Iran is in the eastern hemisphere. We're in the western hemisphere. So why the fuck, excuse my French, would America be concerned with the Middle East? It's because of the chief house of Edom, Amalek, the Amalekites, the so-called Jews. All right, they're gonna draw the least of the flock. They're drawing out the chief city, the chief power of Edom, which is America, Babylon the Great. All right. But anyway, let's jump into this.
The other developing story, the U.S. sending an aircraft carrier group to the Middle East to send what it calls a clear message to Iran. The USS Abraham Lincoln and support ships have been dispatched. The carrier was due to dock in Croatia on Wednesday. U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton says it is in response to troubling developments in the region. The latest U.S. effort aimed at increasing pressure on Iran. Gabriel Elizondo is live for us in Washington. So, Gabriel, this is part of a White House statement that was put out that explains this further. What did it say?
Yeah, it's a very unexpected and unusual statement from the White House. It came a little bit before 9 p.m. local time here in Washington on Sunday night. Totally unexpected. The statement was short, but it did mention that, and it's from John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, but it said, as you mentioned, the U.S. is going to be deploying the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Force Group. It's an aircraft carrier plus some ships around it, plus some bombers to the Middle East region. And I want to read part of the statement that's key. It says,
and remember, I told you, if you're looking at that's what's popping off in the Eastern Hemisphere. And they said they're rerouted, okay? The least of the flock shall draw them out. They were on their way to Croatia, and they rerouted to the Middle East, okay? And that's a strike force, okay? And as you remember, Russia done put their troops, Russia and China supposedly have sent troops to Venezuela, okay? So this war is heating up, man, all right? Though it tarry, wait for it, it shall not tarry. Okay, the visions are screaming, man. They're for an appointed time. and that time is now. Okay, Jacob's trouble is on its way. It's about to commence. These are signs. Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, rumors of wars. All right, see that ye be not troubled. That's what you're seeing, rumors of wars, but they're going to lead to real wars. Just as we said before, that tariffs lead to real wars. Now you're seeing the aftermath of the tariffs. The tariffs aren't working. The tariffs aren't enough. So now you have to put an actual show of force, troops on the ground, ships, so you know what time it is. Because the tariffs wasn't enough. All right. So like you see, this thing is heating up, man.
They're being sent to the region to, quote unquote, send a...
And I keep saying it over and over like a broken record. The election is 2020. We're in war. We're in the middle of war. Okay? And it's going to, Lord's willing, I don't know. Don't quote me. No man knows but Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But something's going to pop off, man. Something has to pop off. He's up for re-election. The Republicans are war presidents. 99% of the Republicans that were in office went to war. Okay, and what better reason to go to war for him to be re-elected if we're in the middle of a war, and not to mention a world's war. Okay, the doors of mercy are closing. Not to mention they want to implement that chip. Everything. If you're paying attention, is coming to a head, man.
Clear and unmistakable message to the Iranian regime that any attack on the United States interests or on those
not on America, not on the United States, on their interests. Let's go back to it again, okay? The least of the flock shall draw them out. What's their main interest? Israel, okay? Therefore, Jeremiah 49:20. Matter of fact, let me get Jeremiah. It's the same thing. The same thing is being said. Jeremiah, in case you bird brains didn't understand, like I said, Edom is Babylon the Great, okay? Babylon the Great is America, okay? That whore that sitteth upon many waters, okay? And they're going to, thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the beast is going to hate the whore, okay? All right? We drawing near to that time. But war, it takes time. Things just don't happen overnight. But it might now because, like I said, you see the troops, the soldiers already being put in place. All right. I did a video a long time ago, not a long time ago, about a while ago. I noticed a lot of people were starting to go into the military again, and I said, you motherfuckers that went into the military, you're not coming home, man. You're not even coming home in a body bag, okay? And there is going to be a draft. There shall be a draft. Okay, because technology has increased. So once this war starts to commence, you're going to see that the death toll is going to rise, man. All right? There's many scriptures I can pull, but I don't want to make this too long. Okay? You see? The decree done went out. There's no more new members in GMS. Okay? Until further notice from the elder Apostle Tahar. Okay? And you can see the doors of mercy are closing. You see, you got the zealots out there, the HOI, and all these fuckers at the gun range. You can see all Nate, IUIC the Yahweh Shem Yahushai sifting the house of Israel. He sifted Comfy and that shit over there. He got him locked up. He got Nate under the light. He got all these false camps under the light because he sifted Yasharallah. He said he was going to start at the house of Israel. Okay? And like I said, the doors of mercy are closing. You're going to wake up and shit is going to change drastically. There's going to be a famine. You're not going to have access to this word no more. You're not just going to be able to come on here and to gauge what the hell is going on. Because that's what I know a lot of you 2/3 do. You're scoffers. You don't believe. You're naysayers. You're this and you're that. And you come on our pages to gauge what the hell is going on. But guess what? Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to withdraw his men. And all manner of hell is going to be unleashed on this place, man. We're not going to be delivered right away, man. You're going to go through Jacob's trouble. We all shall, me included. We all shall go through Jacob's trouble. That's the truth. That is the true test. We're drastically approaching it, man. All right? But anyway, I'm all over the place. I'm getting hot because I can clearly see something is about to pop off. Okay? You can see it, man. Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. This isn't our words. Anytime we speak, starting from the head apostle to Har on down, we come out the scriptures, man. This isn't our thoughts. These are Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's thoughts. He said it's his purpose that he proposed against Edom. Okay? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. In order for the kingdom of heaven to come on this earth, much tribulation has to take place. And it's about to commence. All right? Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great. Okay? And his purposes, okay? Because it's not just the missiles, it's a bunch of things. It's the race wars, it's the famine, both spiritually and physically, okay? It's a lot of things. His purposes, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is Amalek, Israel, you so-called Jews. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. Why? Because it tells you in Revelations that the nations are going to stand afar off, bewailing for her. All right? Because the nations are mad, man. They're drunk off the fornication of this place. They got rich here. Okay? But when they see this bitch burning, they're gonna know. Then they're gonna know. Okay? Then you're gonna know a prophet have been amongst you. Let me get one more scripture, then I go back in the videos and I'll shut it down. All right? We know all these scriptures and we bring them out over and over because we're a broken record. Okay? The vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. Okay? And not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. It shall not tarry. Okay? And this is the appointed time if you're measuring the time in itself diligently. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 1. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me. See, these are, it's never been our words. Okay? And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, which is those Russians, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Because like I said, they're Edomites also. Don't get it twisted. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is just using them for his purpose, his purposes. Okay? And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even with a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Why? Because it's a time and place for everything. But the time of war is coming up, okay? He put the hooks back in Russia, in the USSR, put that Soviet Union spirit back in them, okay? And that's why he's going to be a guard into Persia, which are the Iranians, okay? All right? Verse 5, Persia, it says, I'm going to read that over. It says, verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Why? Because like I said, they're going to war. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. Be thou a guard unto them. Okay? That's all I wanted out of that. Alright? So if you can't receive what's going on, you ain't meant to receive it. Okay? Back in the video. and I shut it down. I got one more I want to play. It's basically saying the same thing. It's off of RT, but I'm gonna play both. All right.
Of our allies will be met with unrelenting force. Statement just goes on to say, in part, the United States is not seeking war with the Iranian regime, but we are fully prepared to respond to any attack. Now, there's two key things that need to be brought up here.
And we know that's bullshit, because the script does say, if Yahweh Bashim Hawashai, his words are smoother than butter, but war's in his heart. Okay? He's a goddamn liar. Talk about show of for wars in his heart. The wicked elites, they want that war. They got to get the population down. Okay? They know, they see the prophets. They see, they're not stupid. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay? It says that the devil shall come down with great wrath, knowing that he have but a short time. Okay?
Number one is that this particular aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, had already been deployed from the United States on April 1st. So it had already been on a deployment. And as you mentioned, it was supposed to be in Croatia, May 8th through 11th, docked there for some normal.
But what happened? The least of the flock drew him out.
Procedures, but it appears that now it's being diverted to the Middle East region.
The least of the flock drew him out.
It's not unusual for aircraft carriers and battle groups such as this to be deployed to the region, the Gulf region, as a deterrent to Iran. But what is unusual is this. This is a pretty significant deployment here with the bombers. It's not just a normal aircraft carrier. It's really a battle group, if you will.
Just like Russia put their bombers down there in Venezuela. Okay? Not only did they put that plane down there, that bomber plane, they put troops down there. So did China. Okay? If you can't see, we're gearing up. The scripture said the second woe passed, the third woe cometh quickly. If you can't see that we are in the midst of the third world's war, you're blind.
And also what's unusual is that normally the White House would not issue a statement with such bellicose language, basically saying we're sending these military assets to this region, specifically looking at you, Iran, which is essentially what John Bolton said there. I want to just conclude briefly that just within the last half hour, the Wall Street Journal newspaper here in the United States is reporting that this decision to move this aircraft carrier to the region was just made within the last couple days after meetings throughout the weekend, that according to the Wall Street Journal, at least one source that they have in their article that just came out said that this is due to new intelligence that's been received by the United States, new intelligence of Iran possibly moving some military assets around that could.
You see, everybody's jockeying for sides. You see, old boy Kim Jong-un testing his missiles. Everybody's preparing, man. We in them times, man. The doors of mercy are drastically closing. I keep saying it over and over. The doors of mercy are drastically closing.
Could, according to the Wall Street Journal, jeopardize U.S. assets or U.S. Interests in the Gulf region. That, according to the Wall Street Journal. Beyond that, though, no other information. We did reach out to the Department of Defense. All they did was confirm to us this deployment of this aircraft carrier and the bombers, but beyond that would not give us any more details.
All right, so let's go to one more video. Because I think this is the one. I just want to play this one because they made a statement. I believe it was this one. That it happened when everybody would. He said, it's funny. I think it was this one. If it's not, Salakia, my bad. I watched a couple videos on it already. And one of the reporters made a statement, or somebody made a statement, that how they made this deployment like on the low. While everybody was distracted and watching Game of Thrones, that's when they did it. Sunday evening, Sunday night. So like you could clearly see everything the Lord said, how he's going to come in as a thief in the night. You could see, man. You could see. And man.
In what it called a clear and unmistakable warning to Iran, the White House announced it's deploying an aircraft carrier group to the Middle East. National Security Advisor John Bolton.
But a warning, but hey, these other nations ain't scared, man. They tired of your shit, man. Be real with you. That's why the scripture said, let the weak say I am strong. Especially because Gog and Magog it's coming to their defense, man. Okay? Man, we in them times.
Said the U.S. is not seeking war, but is simply reacting to a series of escalating incidents. The U.S. has also recently designated Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, the country's
escalating incidents. Everything is escalating. First it was tariffs. First it was just talking. Then it was tariffs. Now you actually deploying strike force naval ships. Okay?
elite military unit as a terrorist organization amid these escalating economic sanctions as well. So for more on all...
Right. What did I say? The sanctions, tariffs. Let me run that back. You know me, I be blibbly blabbing slot.
Designated Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, the country's elite military unit.
Oh, Salak, I forgot. They bombed the shit out of Israel, Gaza, Golan Heights or whatever. They just bombed the fuck out of them, man. Like I said, if you can't see what time it is, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Terrorist organization amid these escalating economic sanctions as well. So for more on all of this, we're being joined now by RT correspondent Dan Cohen. Dan, first, give us a summary of what transpired this weekend.
The Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton released...
The U.S. is not seeking war, but is simply reacting to a series of escalating incidents. The U.S. has also recently designated Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, the country's elite military unit, as a terrorist organization amid these escalating economic sanctions as well. So for more on all of this, we're being joined now by RT correspondent Dan Cohen. Dan, first, give us a summary of what transpired this weekend.
Well, Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton released a statement at about 9 p.m. local time here in Washington, D.C. last night, Sunday night, as millions of people were distracted watching Game of Thrones and...
He said it. There we go. Run that back again. Because Jake, especially Jake is simple. They get distracted by the NBA. The bread and circus, man. All of these things, the bread and circus, they just distractions. The Jesse Smollett, the R. Kelly, they was doing all that stuff because they trying to distract the people while they going to war, just like the Roman Empire did, okay? In those gladiator coliseums. It's a lot of distractions going around, all right? A lot of distractions. Run that back. If you don't like that I keep pausing the video, fuck you, go watch something else.
Released a statement at about 9 p.m. local time here in Washington, D.C. last night, Sunday night, as millions of people were distracted watching Game of Thrones, and his statement said, in response to a number of troubling and escalatory indications and warnings, the United States is deploying the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group and a bomber task force to the U.S. Central Command region to send a clear and unmistakable message to the Iranian regime that any attack on the United States' interest or on those of our allies will be met with unrelenting force. So very clear, basically a threat from John Bolton to Iran that, it's very serious.
And very ominous.
Yes, I think it's, if you actually, this aircraft carrier was deployed about a month ago. The Navy put out a statement, and we have the statement. We have an image of it, and if we look at the statement, it actually shows that this was put out on April 8th. That's what, like 28,
it's almost a month.
Yeah, that's about a month ago. So why is John Bolton putting this statement out now? It's not exactly clear. The chief of naval operations this morning confirmed to reporters that the deployment had been planned, in his words, for some time. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also confirmed that. So, as you said, very ominous from Bolton.
Are they accidentally throwing Bolton under the bus here by saying, well, yeah, this has kind of been planned all along?
I mean, they could be. They could be also kind of tamping down Bolton's threat. This, of course, comes after the U.S. designated or said it was ending oil waivers for
right.
For countries that are buying Iranian oil, and its stated goal is to get Iranian oil exports to zero. And in response, the U.S. Iran said that it would block the Strait of Hormuz if its oil exports were cut off.
What is John Bolton trying to accomplish here? I mean, he says not being very clear or open about it. He calls this escalating incidents that he revealed this statement. What are these escalating incidents? Just so the viewers aren't confused, nothing really happened this weekend, was there?
No, nothing's been reported. John Bolton, in his statement, he said there were indications,
nothing really happened. So you see, it's devils, man. because they have an agenda, just like they have an agenda to chip the people, which they're already behind on. You know, they wanted everybody chipped, I think 2019. They have an agenda, man, and they're behind on their agenda. Okay. What's that dude? Aaron Russo, he told you that they were going to go into Venezuela. He told you the Kennedys told him that, okay? So, like I said, anyway, I'm going to shut it down, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you need to see, man. We in them times, man. All right? Now is the time to lock in and stay focused, man. Pray, fast, seek the Lord while he may be found, man. Okay? Because like I always say, the doors of mercy are drastically closing. He's going to withdraw his men. He's going to lock down the internet, and then the purge is going to commence if you can receive it. Okay. Anyway, with that being said, we almost out of here, man. Keep pushing. Shalom.